Hey y'all, it's your Missniecytv and I'm here to do a review for Sistas Season 8, Episode 10. The episode picks up where it left off and Andy is shocked to see Gary coming off the elevator and she's like, what are you doing here? Gary's talking about, I'm thirsty, I need water, so Andy grabs some water. And Andy's like, why are you not in the hospital? Gary was like, I couldn't stand that. That's when her doorman calls and the doorman basically lets her know that he almost called the cops on Gary because he was acting out. Andy's like, no, don't do that, everything's fine, everything's okay. Then she hangs up the phone with the doorman and Andy's like, so why were you acting out? Gary was like, I need to see you. Andy's like, how? In that room, I had to see you. Andy's like, how? Gary's like, I took one of them drift bikes from the hospital and I stole it. Andy's like, how did you know that I lived here? Are your memories coming back? Gary's like, I don't know. But he's screaming it. And Andy's like, sorry, I shouldn't have pushed you. Andy's like, I'm sure the hospital is looking for you. Let me call them. Gary's like, no, don't call them. I don't want to go back. It was all too much. Andy's like, Gary, you're recovering from a major trauma right now. Do you remember that? Gary's like, Andy, you're the only one that I trust and I need your help. Andy then finds Gary some clothes to change into, and when she comes back, Gary's like, did these clothes belong to me? Andy's like, no, they belong to my boy. They belong to my friend. He's like, I'm sure they'll fit though, and that's when she tells him to go to the back, and that's when she calls Hudson, and Hudson's like, Andy, I need you to stop playing on my phone. I'm looking for Gary. Andy's like, Gary's here at my house. Hudson's like, how did he end up there? And I'm gonna get you on kidnapping charges. And he's like, no, I did not kidnap him. Hudson's like, okay, but don't go nowhere. I'm on my way. So Hudson's on his way to the house. Over at the airport, Danny is over there texting Tony, right? And she's putting all these emojis and Leonard is looking at her this whole time and he says something smart. So Danny, knowing her, she wants to say something smart back, but she's not trying to lose her job. So she calls Sabrina to talk to her. Sabrina basically tells her, don't worry about it. Karma will get him and he will expose himself. Like, girl, that's not what you wanted to hear. We're at the salon. Aaron is still rubbing Karen's belly, and that's when Zach walks in, and Karen's like, Zach, what are you doing here? Because, I was running an errand for Fatima, so I thought I would stop by and see the twins. Karen was like, okay. Aaron was just feeling the twins creak for the first time. Zach is like, oh, okay, can I feel? So that's when Aaron makes his slight comments that wasn't even necessary. He's like, we gotta give baby number 2 a turn. Zach is like, actually, I was number 1 because I hit it first. He hit him with the ray drag. Karen is like, can we not do this in front of the twins? Zach is like, okay. And that's when you still rubbing her belly, but you don't feel nothing. And you could tell that he feels some type of way about it. Aaron is still making his slight comments that it's not necessary. And Zach is like, can you stop? I'm not even trying to be on it. They're arguing about what sport the baby's gonna play, and Karen's like, can we just wait till the twins get here so that they can decide what they want to be? Aaron leaves, but before Aaron leaves, Karen's like, I'll make sure you see the business plan. Zach is basically like, I missed a lot with Michael and I'm not trying to do that again. Karen's like, you won't because it's different with us and I will make sure you're there every step of the way. Zach is like, you promise? Karen is like, you promise? Zach is like, of course. Aaron makes it known that Fatima will be included in the process, and Zach is elated by that, so he tries to hug Karen, and Karen's like, nope, I don't want to hug you. I don't want no smoke with Fatima. And does Fatima even know you're here? She's like, actually, that's Fatima calling me now. So Zach is like, answer it. Karen is like, you sure? Zach is like, yeah, you good. I told her that I was coming this way anyway. Zach is like, you know what? I'm going to get going. That's when he leaves. Over at Andy's penthouse, Gary has changed his clothes now, and when he comes out the bathroom, Andy asks him, did they fit? Gary's like, yeah, a little bit, but I'm a little bit bigger than your friend. Andy tries not to laugh. Gary's like, you know what, you got something to eat? Andy's like, yeah, I got your favorite. She's like, I got General Tso's chicken. You want some? You used to eat it all the time. Gary's like, yeah. And then that's when he sits down to eat, and that's when Andy's phone's ringing, and he's like, is everything okay? Andy's like, yeah, I should take this. And that's when she takes the phone call, and it's Robin. He's like, I'm downstairs. Who's at your house? Andy's like, I do have a guest at my house, and whoever's at my house is none of your concern. Robin's like, as your attorney, it is, though. Andy's like, Gary's here. Robin's like, Gary's there. What is he doing here? Then that's when they hang up the phone, and that's when Gary's like, are you expecting somebody? And that's when Robin walks in. He's like, Gary, long time no see. Gary's like, do I know you? Robin's like, this must be a joke. Andy's like, you remember my colleague Robin? This is my fiance, Gary. Andy and Robin go have a conversation in the corner, and Robin's basically like, what's going on? Andy's like, he can't remember anything. Andy's like, I don't know, he just showed up confused. Robin's like, well, he barely survived the stabbing, so you're telling me he's here in your penthouse. Can't you clearly see that he's faking? I don't know why you buying it. Andy's like, I don't think so. Look at him. He looks pathetic. And Gary's like, y'all know I am sitting here, right? Fatima calls Karen to let her know that they need to speak about a legal matter. And Karen's like, I just want to let you know that Zach was here. Fatima's like, yeah, I know. I appreciate your honesty. So when she gets off the phone with Karen, Zach calls her. He was talking about the Gary and Tamara situation and how Gary and Tamara have a sex tape and he saved it to his cloud. And Fatima's like, well, we gotta get that footage so we won't be the suspects anymore. We could turn it to the police. After Karen gets off the phone with Fatima, Pam is like, who we gotta go see? Karen is like, we gotta go see Fatima. She wants to talk to us about a legal matter. Pam is thinking it's a setup, and Fatima's still mad about what happened at the juice bar. That's when Hudson shows up with all his dramatics, and he's like, it looks like I just walked into a scene from my favorite daytime talk show. All Andy's men. Gary, you need to come with me. And Gary's like, I'm not going anywhere with you. Gary's like, I'm staying with Andy. Hudson's like, it's in your best interest to come with me now. Robin's like, I think you should go with your friend, Gary. Hudson's like, finally, somebody's agreeing with me. Hudson tries to grab Gary, and Gary's like, get the F off me. And then Andy tries to control the situation, and she's like, everybody calm down. Hudson's like, you're not in control here, Andy. He's like, why do I have to keep reminding you that I'm Gary's power of attorney? Andy's like, yeah, you might be in control of that, but you're not in control of the stuff that happens in my home. Robin reiterates, and he's like, I think we should let this man take Gary back to the hospital. Hudson's like, finally, somebody agrees with me. Then Hudson tries to have a conversation with Gary, and he's like, it's only been a few days since somebody plunged a knife in your chest. You could get an infection or worse, so let's go. Andy steps in, and she asks Gary, is he okay? Gary's like, I'm a little dizzy. Andy's like, I think you should go back to the hospital. Gary's like, no, I just want to stay with you. Andy's like, you know what? Once I finish my work, I'll be up to the hospital to see you. Gary's like, you promise? Andy's like, yeah. Then they do the pinky promise thing, and Andy's like, you remember. Gary's like, I'll do whatever you say, Andy. Back over at the airport, Tony finally comes out of his office, and Danny's like, I knew that would get you out here. Then they start flirting and do all this other stuff. I'm like, what happened to y'all being discreet at work? That didn't even last 5 minutes. Danny starts talking in innuendos, talking about she's gonna bring him dessert with chocolate sauce, caramel sauce, and all this other stuff. And once the conversation's over, Leonard's like, I hope you got enough dessert for everyone. Danny's like, there's not enough money in the world. Danny's like, you don't even know what I'm talking about because you're a virgin, aren't you? Leonard's like, no, I'm just saving myself for somebody special. Danny's like, that's what you call it? Your little blow-up doll, somebody special? Leonard's like, I ain't got no one. Back over at the law firm, it's time for the meeting with Karen, Pam, and Fatima, and Karen's like, let me guess, she wants to pull out this meeting. Fatima's like, actually, no. Then that's when Hayden walks in. He starts taking over the meeting, and Karen's like, is everything okay? And Hayden's like, no, it's not, Miss Ma. He's basically telling Karen that he wants Marie to renege her deal and not work with them because he thinks it's a bad investment. He starts insulting Rooster Riches and calling it all different types of names, telling them that their products is not tested and it's just some ghetto-run business. He starts talking about the whole Rooster Riches situation with Vanessa and how Rooster Riches burned out her edges and it caused chemical burns. Karen's like, that's not what happened. She shaved off her edges. That's when he tells Karen that she should have got her license revoked. Then Pam says something, and he's like, pot meat kettle, kettle meat pot. Pam tells Hayden, I heard your girlfriend was kettle and you're an old pot. That really made Hayden mad because he's like, you two working with Marie is a bad idea, and I'm going to tell her to renege her investment so she doesn't work with you guys. I already got her exposed. Karen's over it at this point, so she's like, Pam, let's go. Fatima's like, no, you asked me to look over the contracts, and that's what I'm doing. Can I talk to you outside for a second? Fatima calls Hayden Mr. Moss, and he's like, since you put respect on my name, I guess I could give you 30 seconds. Fatima's like, from what I can remember, that's all it takes. Hayden's like, I think she would be glad that you got rid of those two hood rats. Fatima's like, not necessarily, because she sees herself in Karen and Pam. Do you even know about Marie? She's from Chicago. She's from the hood. She really sees herself in them, and let me guess, you don't even know none of her music, because you would know that her music is basically about getting out the hood. Hayden's like, unlike you, I was actually studying English instead of watching music videos. He's like, since you put it that way and you care so much, I'll hand over the caseload to you. You can go tell them that I told Marie not to renege her investment. So Fatima goes back in there with Karen and Pam, and Karen's saying to her, she's like, so he's going to have her pull out. Fatima's like, no. Karen's like, how'd you get him to change his mind? Fatima's like, I just reminded him that y'all are like Marie. Pam wants to celebrate, but Fatima can't because she got another meeting. So Karen's like, Pam, I'll just meet you at the elevator. And Karen and Fatima have a conversation. Karen's like, thank you. Fatima's like, of course. Karen's like, you was ready to throw a wrecking ball at Rooster Riches, and I'm glad that you stopped him. Fatima's like, I had a lot of practice stopping Andy, and plus I believe that as black women, we should stick together, and black businesses too. Fatima lets Karen know that she'll be taking over the contracts, and she asks Karen, was she okay with that? Karen's like, yeah. Over at the bank, Rich comes to visit Sabrina at work, and she's like, what are you doing here? They have a conversation. They sit down, but as they're having a conversation, they're talking about the IPF. She's like, I'm nervous. People don't have this opportunity that I have. Sabrina's like, what's that behind your back? Because she realizes that Rich has a gift for her. So he pulls it out, and she's like, it's a basketball. Rich is like, yeah, I remember you said you like to hoop and I want to know if you want to play with me. So they agreed to have their little love and basketball moment, and I'm like, how cute, how cute. Back over at Andy's penthouse, Robin is talking to Andy, and he's like, what was that? Andy's like, what you talking about? It's like, if I didn't know any better, I would think you still care for him. Andy's like, I was just following the legal advice that my legal counsel gave. I told you to pretend to be concerned. I didn't think you would actually fall for his BS. Andy's like, I'm not falling for his BS, and neither am I for yours. Robin gets offended, and he's like, all I've ever done since I came back to Atlanta is take care of you and look out for you. Look out for me? You mean look out for yourself? All you wanted to do is get more power at the firm. Robin's like, oh, Fatima told you. Andy's like, how would you not think that I would find out? She's like, why would you give my case little day and out of all people? I say that Gary's not the only one with amnesia. Robin lets Andy know that he hasn't forgot about Gary and Hayden's scheming. Robin's basically like, I gave it to him temporarily until you got back on your feet because I know you're going through a lot mentally. And Andy's like, does it look like I'm in a fetal position? Robin's like, no, but Andy's like, no, but nothing. Andy's like, I didn't get that managing partner offer because I was pretty. It was because I brought billionaire clients to the firm. Robin's like, I haven't forgotten all your accomplishments and I don't want to diminish them, but I haven't forgot about all your vulnerabilities either. Andy's like, I don't need saving. I'm coming back to work to claim what's mine. No, that's right, Andy. You better claim your spot before somebody take it. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your bell notifications. Bye.